Whenever I'm growing things in containers, I always reach a point where curiosity gets the better of me, and I just want to know what's in there. Especially this year, because the weather's been so up and down since the very beginning of the year. It's caused a lot of things not to grow exactly the way they should, or not to the full potential. Like these carrots. We've already took a few carrots out of there, and we got some a few inches long, but they weren't what I were expecting. I were expecting quite a lot more from that. Since we've been growing these since autumn last year, you should be harvesting things like that in spring. And so far we've harvested one or two things, but not nearly as much as we normally would, due to that weather being really cold and then really warm. We did exactly the same thing with some parsnips, and they didn't come out really good at all. We've already took quite a few out as baby parsnips, and they were still edible, but they had no size to them whatsoever. And then we've also got things like these. These are called Paris silverskin, and they're pickling onions, and they're getting some good size on them now. We're not trying to grow these for massive onions because we want little sweet pickled onions, and they're round about at that size now where we could harvest them. But the great thing about these is they'll basically grow any time of year because they're onions, they're alliums, and they're very hardy. But like any other plant, they don't like massive shifts in temperature either, because your onions will go to seed just like any other plant. But so far so good with his onions, which is really good news since we've got 3 raised beds full outside. But I keep looking at these and thinking, shall I take them out? I actually just want to pick one out and eat it as it is because I like onions. But some of the stems have started to drop down a little bit, but there's still lots and lots of life in these plants. And the thing with these pickling onions is if you leave them, they will get to be quite big bulbs. Not huge onions by any stretch, but bigger than a baby pickling onion. But that's not what I'm growing them for. So I'm tempted all the time to just pull them up. And I don't think I put enough seeds in this container. I were expecting quite a few more onions from that, or maybe some just failed due to it being really cold when we actually sowed those seeds. Either way, they grew very easily in those little caravan wash bowls. They take up no compost, they take up no space. They're very reliable, so we're definitely going to do a few more containers of those, and then we're going to pickle those, and we'll do a video and put that on his cooking channel showing exactly how we do it. And if you've not seen cooking channel yet and seen the videos that we put on that show you how to pickle, freeze and blanch things, apart from loads and loads of other recipes that we do on there, including making soups, sauces, curries and everyday meals, there is a link in the description if you want to go and have a look at that channel. And maybe hit the subscribe button while you're over there, because we're going to have quite a few videos going on there over the next few months concerning what we do with his own grown produce. But back to these, I have decided today that I'm not going to wait any longer, because we can put them in much smaller containers like the one you've just seen and just start a fresh batch. We can re-sow carrots for quite a while yet, so we might as well get some more going, especially considering that I've got 3 or 4 different types this year. I've got some called little finger. I grow carrots that are only around pencil thickness. We've got some others that grow round like golf balls, and we've got regular carrots. So I'm just going to empty them, see what we get, and then I'll just re-sow a fresh batch. But we'll still re-sow another batch as well, since they're so easy to grow. And where possible, I do try and save whatever compost we can, because I'll just recycle it. I'll put it through a sieve and then we'll add some fertiliser to it, and hopefully we've got enough out of these 2 containers to fill a couple of those small ones. So it's saving us a bit of money. But for now, I'm just going to try and tip the entire thing out. Well, it came out easy enough. But the question is there anything in here? Apart from the fact that I can really smell the strong smell of parsnips. But check out the roots on the bottom of this container. On the sides, there's virtually nothing to see. The roots have basically gone straight down to the bottom. And it might smell really strongly of parsnips, but it doesn't mean we've got much or anything. If you look at this one as we go down, if I just uncover it, you can see that that parsnip, thin as it is, has gone right down to the bottom of this container. And then it started to tangle. It would have got a lot longer. But the problem with these, what I found since we've been harvesting them, is this. They've only grown very thin, but the length of that taproot is ridiculous. So once again, really skinny ones. I think they're going to be quite woody as well. So let's just break this open and see what else there is. I would have settled for just one decent sized one. I mean, that is not bad. It's got a bit of thickness to it, and we can just cut that off there and use that one. And this hasn't got a really thick horrible stem, so that'll be perfectly fine to eat. So we've got one at least. And then we've got some others, which again, really long parsnips, but not much of a thickness to them. And it looks like some of these haven't actually matured yet. Really thin. We can use that one as well, so that's not so bad. And another quite long one, but once again the stem is way too thick. I think we're going to do alright out of this container with just these little ones. There's plenty of flavour in parsnips, so you don't need a lot. And same with that one. We did say when we originally did this, we was growing them for baby parsnips, and I think we've achieved that at least. But ones like this, stick thin, with really thick stems, I'm just going to throw away. And that looks about it. Not as good as we originally wanted, but we have got something. And I can reuse some of this compost as well, so I'll just break it all up and pop it through that sieve. So definitely not the best harvesting world, but we did get something. And I was more interested in these little stubby ones that we got, because I know they'll be alright because the stems are really thin. We got a few of those, so enough for a meal. But anything that's got quite a thick stem, I think we'll just discard. Anything that's like that, we're not going to bother with those. I've just given those a quick rinse with hosepipe. And we have got some nice looking little parsnips there. The baby parsnips that we originally set out to grow. So that container wasn't a complete failure. We just didn't get as many as we wanted. But for one meal, for 2 people, that's going to be plenty of flavour. We'll get these tops cut off and we'll pop those in fridge. See, I can get excited about the smallest harvests. We'll have a look at this carrot container. And then we don't have to think about them anymore. We can just move on, sow some fresh seeds and see what we get later on in season. And we'll do exactly the same thing with this. We'll just tip the entire thing out into this container and see what we've got. And you can see how easy they come out. did we get anything. And straight away I can see a couple of little chubby carrots, and to be honest, they'll do me. Nice little carrots to boil whole, so you get a really good bite of carrot in your food. That's alright so far. And there's another one just next to it, and this one is actually forked. Yeah, it's only a tiny carrot. There's nothing to stop it growing straight, but sometimes they do that if you over fertilise them. And also you can see that green, and that's where it's been uncovered from soil and the sun's got to it. That's why you need to keep your carrot tops buried. That one's pretty much no good for anything. Let's just break this open now. We'll take a bunch out at a time, give them a shake. I'm feeling better already. There's always one. They're really good sized carrots, those. They're not huge, but I'm not trying to get huge ones out of 10-litre containers. Although that is a pretty good size, and they're straight. And that's a nice little chubby one once again. So we're doing alright so far, and we only took one clump out. So let's get another clump, and we'll do the same thing again. We'll just shake it off, and then we can break it up and see what we've got. Again, quite a nice one. I think we're doing alright. And again, nice carrot. If most of them are like this, I'll be more than happy. We'll get a couple of decent meals out of these. Now that's the thickest one so far. It just so happens I've just run out of carrots as well, so this is timed perfectly for me. That one's a little bit small, but still usable. We've still got some more to go at. Let's turn it over. I'm not going to miss a single carrot out of these if I can help it. I think I'll just try and shake the whole thing. Take that away. Loads and loads of roots in these little containers. That one I've just pulled out, it's not a bad size either. I'm just going to go and blast these with hose pipe. And that's what we got from that last bit. Some really good carrots. I'm really pleased with results from this container, to be honest. We've got some really good sized carrots there. And all from a 10-litre container with that small amount of compost in it. So I'm really glad that we did leave those carrots for a couple of weeks longer, because now we've took this harvest from a 10-litre pot, and I think that is pretty amazing. And we've also got a nice little harvest of baby parsnips as well. 2 containers, 10 litres each, 0 maintenance. Now that is what you call a good harvest. And that's what makes container gardening worthwhile. If you want to see what else comes out of the containers we've still got growing in that container garden, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell. And we look forward to seeing you then. Take care.